What if the tattoo on your arm has an origin story that's older than the pyramids? Not decorative, not rebellious, medical. Because the oldest tattoos ever discovered on a human body weren't art. They were treatment. And the evidence has been sitting in a glacier, in a museum, in peer-reviewed journals for over 30 years. We just weren't looking at it the right way. Let's start with the body itself. September 1991, the Ötztal Alps, on the border between Austria and Italy. Two hikers stumble across something protruding from melting ice. At first, everyone assumes it's a modern accident, maybe a lost climber. Then the authorities look closer. This is not modern. This is not decades old. This is over 5,000 years old. They call him Ötzi the Iceman, the oldest naturally preserved human mummy ever found in Europe. And when researchers finally examined his body in full, they found something nobody expected. Tattoos. Not one or two. 61 of them. Simple lines and crosses, burned or cut into his skin and rubbed with charcoal to leave a permanent mark. 5,300 years old. The oldest tattoos on a human body anywhere on Earth. Here's where it stops being a curiosity and starts rewriting the story completely. Researchers expected to find these marks on visible skin, the arms, the chest, places where a person could show off a tattoo. That's not what they found. The marks were on his lower back, his left wrist, both knees, his ankles, places nobody would ever see. Places a person doesn't display. Places a person hides. So archaeologists started asking a different question. Not what do these tattoos mean, but where exactly are they and why there? And that's when the medical evidence stacked up. Researchers x-rayed Ötzi's joints and found something remarkable. Degenerative wear, arthritis, right at the exact locations of many of his tattoos. His knees, his ankles, his lower spine, the places where a 5,000-year-old body worn down by a hard mountain life would have been in chronic pain. The tattoos weren't randomly placed. They were placed exactly where it hurt. This lines up almost perfectly with acupuncture. Researchers comparing Ötzi's tattoo locations to traditional Chinese acupuncture meridian points found overlap that is difficult to dismiss as coincidence. Points used for thousands of years to treat back pain, joint pain, and inflammation, marked on a body from an entirely different continent, thousands of years before acupuncture was ever formally documented in China. Let that sit for a second. A therapeutic system we associate with ancient Chinese medicine may have had a parallel, or a predecessor, in the icy mountains of Copper Age Europe. Two traditions, continents apart, apparently arriving at the same idea. Mark the skin at these exact points to manage pain. Ötzi is not alone. He's just the best preserved example. Egyptian mummies dating back over 4,000 years, including a woman known as Amunet, a priestess of Hathor, show tattoos and patterns of dots and lines across the abdomen and thighs. For decades, scholars assumed these were purely decorative or linked to fertility rituals. More recent analysis has reopened the question, because the placement, again, clusters around areas associated with the abdomen and lower back, regions linked to pain relief and reproductive health in later medical traditions. Across Siberia, mummified remains from the Pazyryk culture, roughly 2,500 years old, show elaborate tattoos of animals and mythical creatures. But underneath the artistry, researchers found simple dot and line tattoos along the spine, in almost the exact same locations as Ötzi's. Different culture, different continent, thousands of years apart. Same idea. Mark the places where the body breaks down. Here's the question modern science is now taking seriously. What if tattooing wasn't invented as art at all? What if the earliest tattoo artists on the planet were something closer to physicians, marking chronic pain points on the body using the only permanent medical record available,